Hello, what is up with the internet? It is me, your friendly neighborhood Weeb here again, playing Warframe. Today, we are messing around with Mag, the magnetism frame, and the very first frame I had. I actually started with Mag. So, in the beginning of the game, when you load in, you get to choose, after going through a little bit of a cutscene first, you get to choose between one of three frames. One of which being Mag. I chose Mag because her concept was interesting. Excalibur's nice, but he's kind of boring. And Volt, at the time when I started, just seemed useless. And he was, apparently. I started playing this game a few years ago, right around the time of... It was right at the very start of the Plains of Eidolon, actually. So I've been in this game for a few years. Pretty casual at it, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I forgot to do the whole ability thing. So, Mag's abilities. Passive, bullet jumping, pulls and items. It's essentially, this and her one are essentially the, it's all mine.
The box is mine, and this triagonal sign. That blue balloon, the month of June. They're mine. The Ziggy sweets are mine. The dirty streets are mine. The city streets, both at your feet, they're all emphatically mine.
Pulled into the center. Any enemy that is within inside the bubble will take damage over time of any damage that has been done to the bubble. So, you shooting into the bubble, enemies shooting or meleeing in the bubble, that'll all be done to everything inside for a surprisingly low base duration. You really need duration with Mag. Duration and strength. This is another... Strength isn't as important. Duration and range are your most valuable abilities, so you can get bigger bubbles. Because that bubble right there is probably with a maxed out range. The actual bubbles you get with base range are quite small. But it'll also do an explosion when it decays after the duration goes away. Polarize, you put out a pulse, strips armor and shields. And does a little bit of damage. It's not really that much. Also an augment for that I have on here. Counterpulse will jam guns of enemies. And then our 4, crush, everything within a certain radius. You crush, dealing a bunch of damage to. There's an augment for that strips the armor of any surviving enemies. So, all in all, a pretty nice kit. It actually goes with her concept. There are a few frames that don't really have matching kits for their concept. I like to run Comb as my primary for this, just because it is a bullet dispensing meme cannon. I'm working on getting a Kuva comb for it, but use the comb or the Dracoon with Mag. You'll like it a lot, and I'm going to show you why you'll like that a lot. I just have that secondary for mastery fodder. I'm not going to go on the steel path with Mag, just because I'm not the best at this game. Even though I've played for a while, I'm not very good. I'm good enough to be able to do a lot of stuff solo, but I'm not good enough to do steel paths with Mag. I actually haven't tried it, but I'm making a guess just based off of my performance with Wukong. But, who knows? I could just be an idiot. Oh, if you're wondering why I'm going into what I'm doing with the person that pops out of my frame, that is spoilers for the story, so I'm not going to explain it until I actually do the story mission on this. And then there's an enemy spawning. A big bad, or an assassin, sorry, is the official term. So, let's put these abilities to use once the next wave spawns. Just gonna energy restore, make my life easier. Pull doesn't do a lot of damage, pulls things towards you. Pretty easy. Like that. Magnetize. You shoot into it, and it nukes everything. Also pretty easy. A lot of Mag's abilities encourage a bit of spam, so you'll have to forgive that, but there we go. But yeah. And I believe the damage typing will carry over as well, so if you do a certain damage type, that'll be what damage type the bubble puts out. Polarize isn't really useful for infested, but just to give you a general idea. Oh, I want to continue. Just to give you a general idea of what it looks like, I'll do it on this next wave. The shield and armor strip on Polarize is actually a bit better than Hildren's. So take that as you will. The only reason Hildren has a bit more use to her is because it's faster, and because it also makes Hildren more survivable, but we'll get to Hildren later. I don't like to compare frames based upon their abilities that function in different ways because of their specific design, but sometimes you have to because there is an ability that does damn near the exact same thing. This is one of those cases. 4, I got one thing. Well, you saw what it did to that one thing. Destroyed it. It's not really as useful because it's just a pure damage ability, and that's not really a thing for Mag, but most of the time it's supposed to do an animation where it lifts them up. Sometimes the animation does not happen, but yeah, like that. See? There you go. That's basically how it functions. Holy lordy. I always forget just how much you can pick up sometimes with the bullet jump with Mag. But yeah, that's basically Mag's functionality. I'm going to see you all in the next one. Have a good day.